Have you ever walked into a room full of strangers and felt like every single eye was on you? Your heart is racing, your palms are sweaty, and your brain will not stop going. What do I say next? They probably think I'm weird. Honestly, I have been there. Every social situation used to feel like torture for me. I would avoid them whenever I could. I would make up excuses not to go. I used to think there was something wrong with me, like everyone else had figured out this whole being around people thing, and I just did not get the memo. But then I started learning about psychology, and I found something pretty mind-blowing. Guess what? That social anxiety that has been making your life miserable? It is probably the most underrated superpower you have. So today, I am breaking down 4 reasons why social anxiety is actually a hidden gift and how you can start seeing it differently. Reason number 1, hyper-aware. Okay, first things first. Have you noticed that when you are anxious, you are basically picking up on things that everyone else misses? Like a tiny facial expression, a slight change in someone's tone. You catch it all. That is not being too sensitive. That is a gift. There is this concept in psychology called emotional intelligence. Basically, your ability to feel what others are feeling. And here is the thing. People with social anxiety are usually off the charts with this. You can walk into a room and just sense the vibe. You know when someone is upset. You can feel the tension between two people who are not even talking to each other. That is a rare skill. Like, really rare. I know this guy who does sales. He used to be terrified of meeting clients. Every presentation, he would get so nervous, but then he realized it was precisely because he was so tuned in to what clients needed and worried about that they felt like, this guy really gets me. His close rate ended up being way higher than those smooth-talking colleagues of his. That is what I call playing a different game. You think you are suffering, but what you actually have is something most people spend decades trying to develop. So stop beating yourself up for overthinking. Your brain is just wired differently. It is not a flaw. It is a feature. Reason number 2, deep thinking potential. This one is going to sound counterintuitive. People with anxiety tend to overthink everything. Like, one small thing can spiral into a whole movie in your head. You are thinking about all the possible outcomes, all the what-ifs, the whole 9 yards. Sounds like a bad thing, right? But here is the plot twist. What if you channel that energy into something productive? People with social anxiety are actually built for deep work because you are used to having your mind run in circles, used to processing a lot of information, used to going deep into things. And when you apply that to work that requires focus and thought, you are basically unstoppable. Ever notice that a lot of writers, programmers, designers, scientists, they are kind of awkward in social situations? It is because they need alone time. They need space to think, to go inward, to focus on what is happening inside their head instead of out there. And here is another thing. Your decisions tend to be more careful, more thought out. Yeah, the process might be painful, but the results? Usually solid. Those fly by the seat of their pants. People might look cool in the moment, but you are the one who is still standing at the end. Reason number 3, built-in danger detector. This one is pretty cool once you think about it. Have you ever wondered what anxiety actually is? It is your body basically saying, hey, pay attention. Something might be dangerous here. It is like a security system. Anxiety is your brain constantly scanning the environment for threats. And that ability saved lives back in the caveman days. And it still works now. You know that feeling you get sometimes? When you walk into a situation and something just feels off? Even before anything happens. You are like, nope, something is not right here. And then later, boom, something goes wrong. Or it gets super awkward. That is your built-in alarm going off. Now, yeah, most of the time it might be a false alarm. But here's the thing. That sensitivity, it helps you avoid a lot of bad situations. Before making a big decision, you get this gut feeling that something is not quite right. When choosing a business partner, You pick up on red flags that others miss. And you know what else? You tend to be more cautious, more prepared. In a team, you are the one who has already thought through, what if things go wrong? Yeah. Sometimes you might come across as a little too cautious, but honestly, that little voice has saved your butt more than once. Basically, you have got a 24/7 risk assessment department running in your brain. Yeah, they might exaggerate sometimes, but overall, they are looking out for you. Reason number 4, real connections. And here is reason number 4, which I think is the most important one. Have you noticed that you might not have a huge circle of friends, but the relationships you do have, they are the real deal? Here is the thing about social anxiety. You cannot fake it. You cannot just walk in and act all friendly and pretend to care. That is just not how you work. So instead, every connection you make is intentional. Every friendship is something you have actually chosen. In other words, you are not just socializing. You are building actual bonds. Psychology shows that while people with social anxiety might have smaller circles, the relationships tend to be way deeper. You are better at listening, more invested, and you actually value those connections. And here is something beautiful. Because you know what social pain feels like, you are way more careful not to put others through it. You are the person who notices someone standing alone in the corner, the one who makes sure no one's left out. That is not awkwardness. That is empathy. That is emotional intelligence. Those, I do not care what anyone thinks, people might seem cool, but they usually do not notice the person who is too scared to speak up. But you are the one who texts after the party. Hey, you seemed quiet tonight. You okay? That is worth more than any social skill could ever teach. Closing. So, back to the question, is social anxiety really that bad? Maybe we have been thinking about it all wrong. Those traits that feel like they are holding you back, they are actually what make you unique. Your sensitivity helps you understand people. Your tendency to think deeply makes you wiser. Your built-in alarm keeps you safe. And your authenticity creates real, meaningful relationships. Look, I'm not saying anxiety is fun. I'm not saying you do not need to learn coping strategies or work on yourself. You do. Growth is good. But maybe, just maybe, we can stop treating your natural tendencies like they are something to be ashamed of. And if you know someone who is struggling with this, or if that is you, share this video. Let people know you are not broken. You are just different. If this helped, give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.